All right. Good morning, everyone. And thank you so much for joining us all here today. Today's shiur should be Leilu Nishmas, our dear friend Menachem ben Yisrael Yaakov, as well as my dear aunt Rivka Bas Gavriel Tzvi, and for Zaidi, Reb Shmuel ben Yosef Dov HaKohen, as well as B'schus L'Refu Shalem B'Karov, Meshalem ben Sarachel, Miriam Basara, and Yair Yeshia ben Chaya Atara. Today, we are on page 256 in the Art Scroll, for those who are following along. And today, we are talking about the fourth refutation, the fourth argument we're going to make with this individual who is a solicitor of security deposits. And once again, a solicitor of security deposits is that individual that is telling Hashem, first give me my money enough to retire, and only then will I set aside time in order to do God's will, to learn more Torah, to daven more, to do more mitzvahs and masim tovim. Now, the fourth argument we make with this person, and again, remember that the example that we're giving is that it's of a storekeeper that is requesting a security deposit from an individual, and that's the analogy that we're using. And the fourth response to a person who solicits a security deposit from Hashem is ki hamemashkin es chaveroi, that when someone takes a security from his fellow, hu memashkin oisoi la'acha meshalish ilos. A person would take a security from another person for one of three reasons. Achas mehem sheme ya'ani v'loi tasi yodai. Perhaps this person, the first reason is, might become poor and he's going to have a trouble paying later when the goods are ready to be picked up. He's not going to have enough money to pay for it. That's the first reason. The second reason is, the second reason is that he is concerned that when the debt comes due, the fellow might close his fist, the Shaar Habitachon says, around the money that is owed and refuse to pay. That in reality, this person would just say, you know what, I'm not interested, I don't want this item anymore, I changed my mind, and I'm not paying. Or for another reason. Whatever it is, he just decides he's not willing to pay for these goods or services that he already has a deposit with. Vashlishis, the third reason is, and the third reason is that he fears that the fellow might die, or he might not be able to be found when it comes time to make the payment, and he won't be able to collect his debt. Back in the day, when they wrote Chavos Avos was written, people would travel. And when you traveled, it wasn't like today, you got into a car, got on a flight, you always were connected, you always had a cell phone. Once upon a time, especially if you travel to a far distant area, it could take months. And therefore, the person might go somewhere, might get lost, might get stuck, and might not come back for a long time, might not find him at all. Or the person might move away, and in those days, when someone moved away, you lost connection with that person, especially if you didn't know where to write a letter to. You didn't know where to go look for them. You kind of lost it. There was no internet. There's no stuff like that in order to find them. And therefore, at that point, you would be. So now, with these three reasons, Chavos Avos says that if these three reasons one of these reasons are why you would take a deposit from an individual, you would be correct in taking a deposit from someone. Now, but in theory, if the people who extend credit could somehow be confident that the other people they are dealing with are safe from these three issues because they are guaranteed to remain ready, willing, and able to pay, meaning a person who's super trustworthy, has a long credit history, people trust the guy, and so a person who you're not worried for any of these three reasons and thus would not be able to pay, at the end of the day, it would be disgraceful for you to require a security deposit for such a person because you're embarrassing the guy. The guy is a credit-worthy person, and demanding a security deposit for such a person is basically telling him, I don't trust you. And that is something that's disgraceful in such a situation. All the more so here by Hashem. Now, when it comes to Hashem, to whom these three issues are not applicable, it is even more disgraceful and outrageous for people to demand a security from him. Hashem can be relied upon to provide one's sustenance when he needs it, for he exists eternally and is above suspicion. We have three reasons. The first reason why we request a deposit from an individual was because perhaps the person might be poor one day and won't be able to pay the remaining balance. God has an infinite amount of money. He's not losing any of it. He will always be able to pay. Second reason is because maybe the person might close his fist, Shaar Habitachon says. He might decide, no, I don't want to give it to you. God is always going to pay you what you deserve. If you deserve it, he's going to give it to you. He never gets emotionally attached and say, oh, I don't want to. No, you deserve it, you get it. And the third reason why we gave was, why? Because this person might get lost. He might move away. He might die. God is eternal. God is all over. All you got to do is look up and talk to him. God is always there. And therefore, these three reasons, which is the only three reasons why you might not extend credit to someone, you might require a security deposit, this doesn't pertain to Hashem. At the end of the day, the fourth reason why we do not request Hashem to give us a security deposit is because God is not running away. You just need to provide your services and he will pay for it immediately, no terms needed. At the end of each day, he's going to settle up and he's going to pay it for you. So don't be the solicitor of security deposits of Hashem. Do God's will first, and God is going to take care of you right afterwards. Thank you, everyone, for joining us all here today, and I love you all.